Thank you all so much for joining. I'm Shiroz. I'm an account engineer here at EyePop. And today we're going to be talking about how you can generate custom product listings in bulk using AI and how you could create a demo with Shopify and create listings automatically for one image, just based off of one image. So for today's agenda, we're going to talk about what is computer vision and EyePop AI and how we fit into your computer vision solutions. Next, we're going to explore some real-world use cases for Shopify merchants and how they can streamline and scale their Shopify operations. And then I'm going to show you a live demo of a Shopify plugin that we are planning on launching soon, where you can create product listings from your product image in seconds. And then I'm going to walk through how we built that Shopify plugin, the development process, and then if we have some time in the end, we're going to do some question and answers. So what is computer vision? Computer vision is like giving a computer the ability to see and understand pictures, just like how we do with our eyes and brains. It helps computers figure out what's in a photo or a video, such as recognizing faces, objects, or even actions. Some different types of computer vision models are object detection models and classification models. These object detection models, they find specific objects in an image by pinpointing where they are at, by drawing these bounding boxes, and it tells us that they are present by classifying these and detecting these. So it is telling us where this is in the image and telling us that it is present, these object detection models. There are also classification models, and these will tell you whether a specific object or feature is or is not in an image. So this classification model is telling us that a pituitary tumor is present in this medical image. But unlike the object detection model, it's not telling us where, just that it is present. Key point detection models, these identify important points on a body or object, like your joints or corners on a box. And these are useful for sports performance or tracking, anything along those lines. And then finally, segmentation models. These models label every pixel in the image to show exactly what is what and gives precise outlines rather than drawing a bounding box. It gives you these outlines on your whole image. So traditionally, to create a computer vision model, it includes a lot of steps that usually a specialized team, like a machine learning engineer team, would need to do in order for you to have your own computer vision model. From choosing the correct model to pre-processing your data, to then normalizing your data, you can then finally begin to start running inference. And then you need to post-process that data to make sense of the output, and then you need to continuously deploy and maintain your pipelines to ensure that everything is still working and scaling. So that's where EyePop AI comes in. We are a no-code platform that makes it easy to build these smart computer vision models without needing to hire or code at all. So you'll come in here with your unstructured business data, if it's images, videos, or live stream, and you'll upload that to our SDK or web app. And then you'll be creating your own POP, which lives in the cloud. And your POP will output you this rich JSON data, which you can use to power your own product and get your desired business outcomes. Our computer vision pipelines are low latency combinations of really small, tight models working together to provide developers with a rich set of information. These pipelines are configurable on the fly, and they're combinations of models, and they can be changed without restarting the server or inference. So now I'm going to show you some models that we already have off the shelf, which you could use today just by creating an account and signing in. It's completely free. So any of these models I'm about to show, you can use right away. So models to detect people, people with 2D body points, people with 3D face, body, and hands, people plus common objects, people plus animals, people plus devices, people plus sports equipment, people plus vehicles at the street level. And then we have text detection models, vehicles from the traffic camera angle, sports player tracking models, and then models to detect people with demographic data. Now you can use any of the models that I just mentioned before, but you can also create your own custom models. So here, for example, we created a model to detect eyeglasses, and then we combined this eyeglasses model with the person 2D model to then not only detect eyeglasses, but the person and draw these 2D figures on them. So you can imagine how this is returning much more data in our JSON than it was before when it was just tracking the glasses. So let me take you to our dashboard. If you haven't already, please feel free to go to our website and make a free account. You can follow along, and there's no charge, and it just takes a few seconds. But once you're in, you're going to land on a page which looks like this. From here, you can create your own AI model, create an endpoint to integrate any of those models I just previously mentioned directly into your project, product, or apps, or you can create a visual intelligence report on a batch of images. Once you create your model or endpoint, you'll see it populated like this. And here you can see your model's endpoint number. And if you wanted to change what you were looking for, you can just do that by selecting one of the different models below. We have a Node SDK where you can easily integrate this into your Node app. We have a Replit sandbox, so you can be coding in Replit and have EyePop's computer vision, everything integrated into your Replit sandbox. So all you need to do is input your POP ID or your endpoint and your API key, and you can have computer vision in your Replit app. Similarly, we have a Python SDK where you can have EyePop's computer vision completely integrated into a notebook style format. And all you need to do is upload your endpoint and API key. We also have plugins. So we have a Zapier plugin, a Bubble.io integration, and Mind Studio. So if you want a no-code way of using EyePop in your own app, those are some great options. So today we're going to focus on creating a report. Now, the first step to create a report is to name your report. And for today's demo, since we're focusing on Shopify, let's have this report be e-com oriented. So we'll name this e-com report. And the next step is to enter in the main object of what we are looking for and what we want EyePop to detect. So this can be various things. Say I'm uploading a variety of e-commerce products, not just a specific product, then I can simply just put e-com product. But say I was only looking at t-shirts, I would just put t-shirts. If I was looking at water bottles, I would say water bottles, etc. So once we define the main object, we then need to write properties, essentially questions about that main object that we are looking at. So say once we're looking at our main object, we want to ask the question like, what is the product, or sorry, not what is, write me a product description. Say we want some product tags to go along with our listing. We need a SEO description. We need some like a product title to go on our listing. Now our report is pretty much set up. So we're going to be looking at the e-commerce product and we're going to be asking our EyePop model these questions. Now, once we click continue, the next step is to upload your images. So here I'm uploading some products I already uploaded. And once these upload, our final step would be to click continue and have this generate. And what's going to go on in the back end is iPop is going to look at each of these images and each of those questions we've asked and answer those questions for each image. So I've actually already ran this, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip over to that just for the sake of time. And we can see here that our results for the ecom report come in with our total images, write a product description. Each number shows how many answers we have for that specific question. So we can go ahead and view this report in our web app. And we can see here um, for this, it's wrote the product description, stay hydrated and entertained with the lip flask, a sleek black water bottle, um, created an SEO title, created product tags, described the color, but also for t-shirts. So this is a classic black t-shirt, offers a comfortable fit. We have our product tags, our SEO title, describes the color. We can see more of the response like this. And if we want to do some further analysis or maybe even utilize Shopify's CSV upload to upload multiple images at once, we can download this as a CSV and then we can then see it as such. So this is what the table format looks like. I hope you guys can see, and if not, please let me know. So each image and it comes with a product description. Okay, great. And each question is the header of the table, and the values of each are in these rows. And we can see all of this came in, and we are able to get this data in bulk by using our report feature. So now let's talk about how iPop can streamline your Shopify listings. So common problems Shopify store owners face when creating product listings is this is a really manual process. You have to do one by one entry, uploading products individually. It's slow and repetitive and it costs a lot of time. If you were to opt in for their CSV upload feature, it has limited flexibility. There's no easy way to preview, refine, or optimize your listings dynamically. When you're needing to write the copy for your post, this is also a very manual and tedious process. Same thing with coming up with product tags. And all of this results in just slow product launches. It's time consuming, it's delays getting your products live, and it's slowing down your revenue growth. So that's where iPop comes in. You can use our report API to create um, a way for Shopify store owners to generate multiple listings at once from a single batch of product images. So you can automatically create detailed descriptions, SEO-friendly copies, and consistent tags. You can preview, refine, and export this directly into Shopify with one click. You could rapidly scale your product logs, catalogs, and significantly reduce the time to market. So I'm going to now show you a Shopify plugin that we are launching soon. And you can then, just like we did on our dashboard, upload an image, ask questions about it, but have this more in the Shopify setting where you can then export that listing we created into a live Shopify draft listing. And then after I show you this demo, I'm going to walk you through the code of how I put this together, focusing specifically on the iPop portion of the code. Okay, great. So here, now that we're in, we need to enter in our EyePop API key. And you can do this once you make your account. You'll just need to click on this right panel and click View API Keys. Once you have your API key, just go ahead and enter it in here. And now this is connecting to our EyePop API. It's authenticating us in. And now we need to upload our images. So let's upload some images of water bottles. And now we need to define what are we uploading images of. Just like that step on the report pop on our iPop dashboard when we're entering ecom products. This is the same thing, but now on the Shopify end. But we want to be more specific because we're not just uploading a variety of ecom products, we're uploading a specific product. So we can just say water bottles. And now we can just check these boxes if we want to get a product title generated, a product description, colors, SEO descriptions, etc. If we were to not click this, then we would not get that field generated. We can also ask custom questions. I can ask it to give me a price, and this is our EyePop AI giving us a price for the image. Um, Depends if you would want to use the price that the AI is giving, or if you have, you probably have a set price that you're trying to market your product for. We can ask questions like, give me the height, um, etc. And now we're going to start our AI analysis. So this is going to then send all of our images to EyePop with these questions baked in and this custom question. And essentially what we are doing is exactly how we did on our EyePop dashboard, where we entered in the images, we entered in the main product we are looking for, and we added those questions. We are now just doing that, but programmatically through our backend. And this gives us a lot of opportunity to create a streamlined Shopify listing experience. So now we can just upload these images and get all of our copy generated in a Shopify format and get this in a draft listing, which we can then use to export into our Shopify store. This is just one use case for our reports. You can think of tons of different use cases just depending on the industry you're in and the use case you might have. But this is just one use case that we are focusing on today for today's demo. Okay, great. And now we just have one more image processing. And this should take us about a second. And now once we get our results, I'm going to show you guys our results and how we can integrate this into our Shopify website. So now you see here, our height is 12 inches, which actually is not too far off. Our product title, Lip Flask Smart Bluetooth Water Bottle with speaker and LED light. Our product description, this innovative lip glass water bottle combines hydration with entertainment, featuring a built-in Bluetooth speaker, LED light ring, and durable stainless steel construction, perfect for workouts, outdoor adventures, and daily use. It keeps your drinks cold. Color variants, black with RGB LED light ring. We have our SEO description, perfect for active lifestyles and music lovers. It's quite creative and it's pretty great responses. Product tags, so water bottle, Bluetooth speaker, water bottle. All of this has been generated just based off of our questions. And we can see we have this for each of our images we've uploaded. Now, if we want to export this to Shopify, we can just click Export to Shopify. And now we are going to be getting listings created for each of those images with all of the content generated. So I click here. We have everything inputted in. The price here is $99. We have all of our tags over here. Have our image which we uploaded, we have the title, we have the descriptions, and if we need to change anything, we can change it here. But for majority of the work has been streamlined through the report API for the specific Shopify use case. So I'm going to take us through our code now so you can get an idea of what this looks like to connect our EyePop API and do this in the backend for whatever use case you might have. So this is essentially the main file where I am doing everything related to EyePop. I'm here importing our EyePop Node SDK. After installing it, I'm connecting to our EyePop client. So here I'm creating this EyePop client class. And this is essentially the code, which you can also find in our documentation, to connect to an endpoint using EyePop.worker endpoint. we have then connected to the endpoint and we are authenticating ourselves with our API key, which we are inputting on the first step of that Shopify plugin. And then after we connect to our EyePop endpoint, the next step is to create our prompt to our EyePop model. So to create our prompt, we need to create a method, and this method is build comprehensive prompt, where we are taking in the questions from the user, the product type, and the checkbox questions. So those questions are essentially yeah. So these questions here, where we defined water bottles and these checkbox questions, those are what that method is taking in. And each of these checkboxes have a certain prompt that is baked into it. So if you were to click this, then a text sentence is going to be inputted into our prompt. And let me show you a little bit more about how that looks like. So if the user adds the product type, we add this sentence to our prompt, where we're saying product type, this is a whatever the user inputs. Same thing with the custom questions, like when I inputted height and price, we added um, a similar sentence for that question into our prompt. And then same thing if the users are inputting those checkboxes. So for product title, product descriptions, if they input that, they check that box, we are adding this sentence to the product descriptions. Now we're storing all of this in this object here, categories of a string array. And categories is going to store all of the text from these prompts that we're pushing into it. And then at the end, that categories string array, we are joining together all of the sentences and we're storing it into this constant. Now, our final prompt is then this right here, where we're saying to analyze the image provided and determine the categories of that huge prompt we just created, that category string. We're dynamically inputting that and we're telling it to report the values of the categories as class labels. Be very careful to place these values correctly. If you are unable to provide a category with the value, then set its class label to null. And then we return our final prompt. And that's how we are creating our prompt for EyePop's image model. So now we've connected to the endpoint, we've created our prompt. The next step is to actually send this prompt to EyePop, and we need to make that request. So this is all of the code to do that. It's just essentially these 20 lines. So we are calling that method we just defined, and we're storing that result in this new object, comprehensive prompt. And now this here, you can find in our EyePop developer documentation, you can see the structure where you are creating a pop definition. You're adding these components. The type is the pop component type inference. We are stating our ability. This is essentially like our ability or model. And then we are putting in our params, which is just that prompt. So now that we've put this all together, we are making our request to this model, to EyePop, and we're sending in that prompt. And now the final step is to get our response back, parse that response, and look at the AI response and grab everything that we want and to map it correctly. So essentially what we are doing is we are formatting this text. So EyePop is giving us back all of our answers, but we just need to display this in such a way that we can display it to our end user in a way that makes sense for them. So I have then created this logic. Um, here to parse the visual intelligence response. I'm debugging, I'm creating some debug log so I can see how long that response is, how many classes there are to get a preview of that text. And then I'm creating a response object where we're going to hold the raw results from the AI response, hold the text, And then I'm creating this empty dictionary object to eventually hold the responses in a format where there's a key and a value. And the key would be these questions on the left. So the key would be price and the height, and the value would be 12 inches, $99. Let me quickly run another one just so that it can have some processed responses for you to see. Okay, so now we sent our AI request and we need to display the responses. So let me just show you what this looks like in terms of the raw response. So here, this is our prompt being sent, our final prompt. You can see we are asking it to analyze the image. I said that this image is a lip flask product, and I tapped those check boxes, and those check boxes were product title, product descriptions, color variants, and we're dynamically creating this prompt based off what the user checked. And then we are sending this to our visual intelligence method pop, and it's sending it to EyePop's image model. And then we're sending it with our prompt. We are then processing the individual request. And this is what the raw result from EyePop looks like. So it's going to come like this, where the category was essentially the question and the class label was the answer to our question. So the category here is product description, and the class label or the AI's answer was that this lip flask is a stylish and functional smart water bottle featuring a built-in Bluetooth speaker. It combines hydration with entertainment, perfect for outdoor activities, workouts, or daily use. This bottle is pink with a white top and a handle for ease. So this is the structure that EyePop is going to return to us every time. So this makes it very simple for us to then parse this response and format it in such a way where we can have it make sense for our end user. Because we know that each time the category is the question and that the class label is the AI response. So then we are creating this method, field mapping, where we are taking in the response from the AI for the category names and we are mapping them. So once we find product type, this is our key. And if we see product type as a value in the AI response, we're going to map that to this key, and so on and so forth for all of these. And we're going to go through the categories, and then we're going to go through the class labels. And this logic is essentially making sure that we are processing the request in the way that we want to specifically for us. So you can then see in our response object here, parse results. So let me find this. So it should be our last response. Okay, great. So we are seeing our raw results for each. But let me find the response where it is perfectly formatted so you can see. Okay, here we go. Our extracted data values. So after we get our mapping method to go into the AI response and format everything and clean everything up, this is how it is being returned, where we have our key over here, where it's product title, and then we're formatting it to just take the response for that question. So it's SEO description on the left and then the result on the right. And that is a result of our method create field mapping, which is mapping our response from the AI to a way where our end user can make sense of it. And that is how we end up with these summaries. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed it and maybe learned something. And, if you have any feedback or anything, feel free to reach out, and we hope to see you guys again next time.